Because we're actually having trouble with the
Martha Lights is good.
We are right now.
Wait.
That's what I heard. I know. Do y'all need any water or anything before we start? You got some.
Well, that's what we're called.
What are we gonna call?
Steel.
Oh, okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
Just a plug-in. I'm sure there's nothing.
It's Sunday posted it, so I don't want to let it go in case somebody shows up. The city's downtown.
Martin. Good evening, everyone. Today is May 21st. It's 6:30 p.m., 6:31 p.m., and we are located in the Kermit City Council chambers. I'd like to call our regular city council meeting for May to order. If you don't mind, we'll stand to our pledges of allegiance and Councilman Hayes will lead us in our invitation.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the earth and its flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Our gracious Heavenly Father, we ask that you be with us this evening. We ask that you bless everyone that is in attendance tonight. And also please keep your hand of guidance upon us, that decisions made tonight will be for the betterment of our residents as well as for the benefit of our city. We ask that you grant traveling mercies to anyone traveling on the highways or anywhere over this upcoming holiday weekend that we are facing. We ask all of these things in your most precious name.
Amen. Thanks, sir. So item 4 on the agenda is to administer our oath of office to the elected, newly elected officials. Full-time, are you ready for it?
Yes.
Come down there.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna say now?
Yeah.
Facility.
Y'all just get after me, okay? When I say state your name, you will state your name.
Whatever you want.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Right now, please. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I state your name. Judy Williams.
James Underwood. David Holbrook.
Do solemnly swear or affirm. Do
Solemnly
solemnly
swear
swear
or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of Council Lady,
District 5,
Councilman.
District 4, Mayor at Large.
Okay. The state of Texas,
Of the state of Texas.
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
Preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
of this state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Thank you. I'll get them.
Thank you. The most important ones on our agenda next is discuss and consider the formal leave of absence for District 2 Councilwoman Kelsey Short for her upcoming arrival of her baby.
Yeah, I just read in the charter that said that I should ask my counsel for it. I don't anticipate it being gone for any extended period of time, but since the charter says we need to do it, I wanted to put it on the agenda and make sure that everybody was aware of what's going on. I'm not trying to leave my post. I just may not make every meeting over the next couple months.
Too late for her to ask permission to have a baby, Mike?
We're past that.
I think we're past that. Well, good luck. Keep us posted and
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes. Thank
keep
you.
getting in the
And you
loop.
have our blessings.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Number 7, discuss and consider the appointment of a municipal judge for the term concurrent with the mayor's term in accordance with the city charter. Mr. Mike?
Mayor, you probably want to go back to the previous item, and go ahead and kind of ratify the formal motion that she's requested a leave of absence, just so we have it on the record.
Make a motion then to accept the request of Council Lady Short for her leave of absence due to maternity.
I'll second.
With a motion and a second to approve the possibility of leave of absence to Councilwoman Short. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Mike, thank you. Okay, moving on, once again, discuss the appointment of municipal judge for a term concurrent with the mayor's term, which is in accordance with the city charter. Mike?
Mayor Council, the charter states that the municipal judge's term runs concurrent to the election of the mayor. And that they are to be considered and approved at the next regular meeting after the canvassing of the votes, and this is that meeting. Of course, as you know, we just appointed municipal judge, I believe back in like March, but that was to fulfill an unexpired term. This would actually appoint him for his own 2-year term, as eventually would be concurrent with the mayor's term.
Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to appoint municipal judge Ukitty's term to start and be in alliance with the mayor's term as stated on the agenda.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to appoint Alonzo Uriquiti as municipal judge for a 2-year term. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, number 7, or number 8 on the agenda.
I'm
Discussion.
sorry, we still have agenda number 5.
I skipped right over.
Oh,
Thank
did.
you. We have a item on here that we are also in conjunction with state law. I think state law on this one. We need to elect a mayor pro tem, and that serves a 1-year term. Currently, Councilman Hayes is the mayor pro tem.
I would like to nominate Robbie Hayes to continue if he would so choose us.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to extend Mayor Pro Tem Hayes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Rodney, you've been voluntold?
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Okay, now we're gonna get. Number 8 on the agenda is discussion of bond rating meetings that were held with bond rating entities in preparation for potential future bond issuances and financing opportunities.
Mayor, Council, as a lot of you know, we went to New York last week to meet with bond rated agencies and bond insurance companies. It was a very whirlwind trip, but we made it back. And what we discussed with the mayor while we were there is just kind of coming back and bringing an update to the council. And so I do have Mark Valenzuela, our financial advisor, kind of queued up, ready to provide an update. I will tell you that we're having some technical difficulties with our system. As you notice, the system's kind of in and out. So I told him I would just call him. And so I'm going to call him and just put him on speaker so that you can hear what he has to say and ask questions. Hey, Mark, we've got you on the speaker and you're with the council right now. And they're just kind of waiting for an update from you.
Okay, sure.
Go right ahead.
You okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. Well, thanks for letting me call in, perfectly. So, yeah, we were, in, New York last week. I could be, I'll tell you, it's a process, this rating process, and so as we went through it, I felt very good about the meeting we had, in terms of getting good information. So we got a good read from from some of the credit folks that we talked to. We talked to 3 different firms, 2 bond insurance companies. They're the only 2 that exist in the country. So we met with Assured Guarantee and with Build America Mutual. These 2 companies could potentially participate with the city as a partner in terms of enhancing the credits of the city. So they work with a lot of cities across the country, and they're AA rated, and so when you participate with them, you're able to sell your bond at their rating. So those are a couple of the meetings, and then we met with Standard & Poor's with their credit team, and it was a very frank and open conversation. I think the team from Kirby did a great job of really explaining the city finance and the structure that was in front of the city with the water utility bonds. What was clear was that the Standard & Poor's was they're very aware of the strength of the water utility, and then I think wanted to kind of see how the water utility supported the general fund, and so that gave us great feedback in terms of how the city's operating, how the city's going to structure these current bonds. So given that communication, I think it gave us a chance to come back and really have the process. And again, like I said, this is a long-term process. Dealing with the rating, hearing from them, repositioning, restructuring, and moving forward. And so, again, the conversation with Standard & Poor's gave us really good feedback and information. Assign a rating to the city. And so, from my view, I thought the conversation, all 3 of the meetings, very worthwhile, and it gave us information so that we can get the next step moving forward on the bond issue. So let me just stop there and obviously I'd like to add anything, but if I missed anything, or any questions for the council and feedback.
Mark, for the group that's here, what's the importance of the bond rating? Why does the city need a bond rating?
Sure. So a bond rating is like a credit score for us, personal household. And so based on our credit score, we're going to borrow at a certain level. Partly, investors look at the rating so that they can determine how much they want to buy the bonds the city currently would sell. And just like any credit structure, the higher the rating that you have, the more investors you're going to have wanting to purchase the bonds of the city of Kermit. So obviously the higher we can get that or maybe participate with one of the bond rating agencies to be able to trade at their credit rating is important to sell the bonds to investors that are going to provide the lowest cost for the city and for the taxpayers. So that's the real importance of it. It gives investors across the country, because the folks that are going to buy these bonds are really just only in Texas. And so it gives those investors a quick understanding of the financial city of the transaction itself.
Okay, thank you.
When will we receive our bond rating? I mean, is there more steps to go to get our bond rating?
Yes, ma'am. So right now, the first step was meeting with the credit analysts and understanding, their feedback and how they're understanding the credit of the city, the financial strength of the city. And so now what we're doing is putting together more financial information, positioning sort of like how we're going to address any of the comments that any of the analysts that we met with last week, how we address that. So from this point, we're still about another month and a half away from having a rating that we could share.
Okay, thank you.
And And then once we have a rating, that's when, I guess the ball kind of starts to roll as far as, the council deciding if the rating supports the bond and whether to move forward.
Yes, sir. And actually, I'll say it's, the council, they can choose to move forward. The rating is held, I don't wanna. It could turn out to be a really strong rating, or it could turn out to be a rating that, is a little challenged. If it's a challenge rating, that's when we're gonna have a longer conversation with those home insurance companies. They got getting their partnership and support. Or we may just determine that, better to do a private placement with a bank, maybe a local bank or Texas that would understand, the Texas economy a bit better and current itself better. And so that we just briefly don't like what the rating is, and we move on without it. Or once we get it, like it, and we move on with the rating, yes, we come back to the council, and start moving forward with the bond process.
And again, for clarification, this is for the utility bonds for the water line replacements, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody else? Mike, anything? Yes, sir. Mark, thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Appreciate you. That was just a discussion, no action to be taken. Okay, so number 9 is public comments. Do we have anybody from the public that would like to speak? And if so, please come forward, introduce or speak your name, your address, and then I do want to remind everybody that Texas law prohibits council from being able to engage with you during public comments. So if it's an item that you would like to have on an agenda, please contact Ms. Diana Franco so we can get you on that way and engage if they so choose. Do we have anybody here tonight? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Myra Olivas. I live at 117 North Avenue B, Howard, Texas. Good evening, council members. My name is Myra Olivas, and I'm here tonight to directly address a critical inconsistency concerning a city manager's office. In Corinthians 4:2, it states, "Moreover, it is required in steward that a man be found faithful. A faithful steward does not hide the truth when an issue arises." At our last meeting, the city manager explicitly stated that he was not aware of my filed grievance. And however, this claim is directly contradicted by a phone call I received by the secretary before the meeting. She outlined my options: file a police complaint or be placed on the city council agenda. The fact that he was authorized to do so proves his office knew about my grievance, despite the public denial. I just wanted to actually point that out because whether it might have been a mistake, but it was there. Furthermore, Corinthians 13:6 tells us that the love and justice do not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoice in the truth. The glaring disparity reveals a severe breakdown in internal communications and arises serious questions about adherence to proper procedures within the city manager's office regarding citizens' grievance. How do y'all go about, if you file a grievance, how long does it take y'all to respond? It's supposed to be 10 days, I think. I'm pretty sure. And then, of course, you get on your agenda. How long does it take the city council to respond to us after that? I would like to know that. I must also forcefully address the unacceptable lack of a reply following the April 16th meeting. I sent a follow-up email May 2nd and another on May 13th. Yet absolutely no official response has been provided. This prolonged silence is not merely troubling, it is profound failure of public service. All I'm asking for is a response to what what are we gonna do about the situation? It's not just about me anymore, it's about the community. We filed a grievance, we all want to be heard when we've been done wrong. How long does it take y'all to come back to us to tell us something? You know, we have the right to have a response, right? Okay, so that's what I'm asking, what are the procedures on the city manager's office? Cause that's where I filed my grievance. What are the procedures? How is it that you don't know about a grievance when it's been filed? The secretary responded back to me. I just want to know the procedures on y'all's part and how that all works out. And of course, with the city council and how that all works also, I just need to know what the legal way about it. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anyone else?
Good evening, Mayor and Council and residents, citizens of Kermit. I'm gonna do things a little bit different this time, so I just wanna go straight to the Lord's word. 1 Corinthians 4. Let a man so consider us as servants of Christ and stewards of the mysteries of God. Moreover, it is required in stewards that one be found faithful. But with me, it is a very small thing that I should be judged by you or human court. In fact, I do not even judge myself, for I know nothing against myself, yet I am not justified by this. But he who judges me is the Lord. Therefore, judge nothing before the time until the Lord comes, who will both bring to light the hidden things of the darkness and reveal the counsels of the heart. Then each one's praise will come from God. For who makes you differ from another? And what do you have that you did not receive? Now, if you did indeed receive it, why do you boast as if you had not received it? You're already full. You're already rich. You have reigned as kings without us. And indeed, I could wish you did reign, that we also might reign with you. For I think that God has displayed us, the apostles last, as men condemned to death. For we have been made a spectacle to the world, both to angels and to men. We are fools for Christ's sake, but you are wise in Christ. We are weak, but you are strong. You are distinguished, but we are dishonored. To the present hour, we both hunger and thirst, and we are poorly clothed and beaten and homeless. And we labor, working with our own hands, being reviled, we bless, being persecuted, we endure, being defamed, we entreat. We have been made as the filth of the world, the offscouring of all things until now. If the Lord wills, and I will know, not the word of those who are puffed up, but of the power. For the kingdom of God is not in word, but in power. What do you want? Shall I come to you with a rod, or in love and a spirit of gentleness? 1 Corinthians 13. Though I speak with tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I have become a sounding brass or a clanging cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, but have not love, it profits me nothing. Forgiveness is not the absence of vengeance. That's the lie that people told you, so you would stay passive while evil went unanswered. Biblical forgiveness was never permission for wickedness to continue unchecked. Be angry and do not sin, Ephesians 4:26 says. Forgiveness is spiritual intelligence. It is the depth of refusing to let pain corrupt your soul, refusing bitterness, obsession, retaliation, refusing to become what wounded you. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good, Romans 12:21. But do not confuse forgiveness with the denial of justice. Vengeance belongs to God because justice belongs to God. Vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord, Romans 12:19. The same God who heals also overturns tables. The same God who comforts also exposes wickedness.
Thank you. Anyone else? Nothing? Okay. Closing public comments, number 10. Mike, we're going to executive session.
Yes, sir.
We're going to adjourn into executive session at 6:54 PM. And we're welcome to hang out here, and we'll be back.
We were gonna send out search warrants before y'all even started the work.
Are you about to put it on? Tell me that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Norm.
It is 8:19 PM. We have returned from executive session. Do we have any, we have no business to discuss from executive session. So we'll move on to the consent agenda. It's item number 12 on our agenda. I'll let you all review what you made notes on and any discussion before we move on. I mean, on animal control, were we able to grab those dogs over by Best Park?
Yes. The majority, I believe.
Saw some traps have been set also at different, other different locations.
The mama dogs, the baby, some of the ones.
All those helpings.
Great job on that.
The one we're having an issue with, someone reported a black dog on Harrison,
Mhm.
but we haven't been able to get that dog. We haven't been able to locate.
Not even seen, huh?
I don't know what page it is. It was Federal Ammo. It was a fence at Walton Park, 9,000.
Yeah, over at Walton Park, TCQ is requiring that we put a fence up and around all of our water wells. And so if you go to Walton Park, you'll see there's a fence around one of those, well, that's over there.
They're all red.
They're all done. So they're all been done. Yeah, and they've all been done, and you'll notice they're
Yeah.
the white with the black top.
Is the property, across from JC's Auto to the, is that ours?
Yes.
Yes. Could we please get it mowed?
Yes, ma'am, that's on the list.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
I've seen all the fences around the water well, so I think they look very good.
And that was one of the things that when we started this project or started this process is that if anybody around the city is driving around, if they saw a white fence with a black cap, they would know that that belonged to the city. There's a method to our madness.
Back on the AP check report on page 4 for JNR Electric. Just curious if it's just a vague description for a 60 amp breaker, 2894.
That is for the generator that we have out here.
Okay.
So we received a $25,000 grant from the Permian Basin Regional Planning Commission for a new generator. And so if you go back out, you'll see there's a shed back there right now, the generator inside of there.
Okay.
But there were some special requirements that was needed that Warren Cat wanted to have the breaker. And so we contracted with JNR to go out there and set the electricity up. The only thing we have left is the exhaust. That exhausted out of the building. And then once we do that, then we will switch from the old generator to the new generator.
And that's all covered by the grant money.
That's covered $25,000 by the government.
Awesome.
Looks like y'all been doing a lot of gas new gas line inspections.
Yeah,
Yes, we are.
West Texas Gas put those new meters in.
I'm $3,100 worth.
Are there a lot of people, I guess, having trouble with their line?
Gas got to be.
Take the pressure up.
It's Burbank, better putting into the gas, the pressure of our lines to 40 pounds. Yes, if you got a little flaw in your line, it'll blow it. I mean, my gas bill was $38 last month, and then they shut the gas off because we have a leak. Now the hole was probably about like that. Well, my gas bill been $38 anyway. plumber said the pressure about too much. If you got a little flaw in your line, it'll blow it.
And
So
so,
$100.
and with
get
the
new
old
one.
lines, because of the meters in the old line, nobody knew that there was a gas leak.
Yeah.
But now with the new meters that have been put in there, and the pressure undetected, they're detecting all these leaks in the line that existed prior to the new meters being put in.
Ronnie, I
There's
had-
maybe only 8 pounds coming off of out of the line on it. Pressure up to 40 seems excessive.
Yeah, and I know that whenever the inspector comes out, he's looking for 20, he's looking at it holds 20 pounds of pressure.
Oh, okay.
20 for 4 minutes. Yeah. Or
And he's got to see it. So we had multiple ones, if you notice on the check register, where he kept coming back to the same address because we had one particular address that I think he inspected 9 times and they finally passed on the 9th time. Which that's one of the things that we're gonna bring to you in the future is, we don't hardly charge for inspections and we don't charge anything for re-inspections. So we're having to eat that cost.
Well,
We still have to pay
working
on
on
it.
it.
Somebody messaged me, Ronnie, their bill was 15,000.
Yeah.
So be happy with
January
that.
first was over 10. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay.
So,
So CTSI in here for the dispatch laptop,
Bless
is that the one we approved a couple of months ago?
I believe that's the one that's on the cycle. So what we've done is that there are machines that we have on the cycle to replace.
Okay.
And that may be one of those that was in the cycle because we had some other PD ones that were in the cycle. And then we've escalated some of them and taken them off the cycle maybe a year early as an example. Diana just got a laptop, but that's been escalated because it was supposed to be replaced next year, but we escalated it to this year. And so, and the reason is I'm moving everybody's laptops, very similar to what you got, is it's mobile, you can take it with you. And so as an example, she just got a laptop, and when she went to the Human Resource Conference, she didn't have a laptop. And so as an example, I think Norma is probably one of those that's also going to be looking at a laptop very soon as well. So that when they go to conferences and stuff, they can still do work and not have to go out and eat with people, but they can sit in their office, in their room and do work.
Right.
Which I do.
We're cracking that whip. Any other discussion on consent agenda before I hear a motion? That is a no. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept, under item 12 consent agendas A, B, C, and D.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda item. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on to 13, old business. Only have one thing is to discuss and consider on the second reading ordinance 2605, which is the rezoning 7 through 10 Kermit Original. And like I said, this is the second reading, so if you don't have any further discussion, we can hear a motion on that.
I'll make a motion to accept, under item 13 on business, the consent agenda item.
Ordinance 2605.
Yes, I couldn't see it. 4605. Yes, that's presented.
26.
26.
2605. I'm sorry. That's presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the second reading of ordinance 2605. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to new business. Discuss and consider appointment or the reappointment of member to the Kermit Economic Development Corporation as a board member. Do we have a spot open?
We have a spot open. Denise George had been appointed when we first started the Economic Development Corporation. Of course, we had to ramp up before we started having meetings. And she chose during that time frame to not serve any longer, so we do have an opening right now.
I'd nominate Russell Blackburn. Maybe.
Do we have any other names?
That was your appointment, correct?
I
I
don't
think
have
everyone I've ever appointed flaked out. Or didn't flake out, just didn't take it. I'm gonna quit nominating. So we have one name, Russell Blackburn. Any others? Okay. We don't take a motion on that, Mike, or?
Yes, please.
I'll make a motion to nominate Russell Blackburn. Or appoint Russell Blackburn, I'm sorry.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to appoint Russell Blackburn to the member of Kermit Economic Development as a board member. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on, we have the same situation with the Kermit Municipal, the MDD. So we have, it's the same person.
Yes, sir. Mayor Council, it was the same individual that chose to not be on the NDD item.
Anybody have any? It's kind of, they meet at the same
They meet
time,
at the
right?
same
Right
time,
after. All that. I think Denise was on both of them.
Yes.
Judy, did I hear you say you want to nominate Russell?
Yes, I do. I will nominate Russell Blackburn for the appointment to the member of the Kermit Municipal Development District Corporation Board member.
We have a motion and a second to appoint Russell Blackburn also to the Kermit MDD as a board member. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving on to item C, discuss and consider the extension of professional consulting services agreement with Tommy Gonzalez. Mike, I'll speak real quick and then if there's any, you can fill in. We entered into an agreement with Tommy to provide strategic planning. If y'all remember, James wasn't here when that contract was put into place. It does expire at the end of June. So therefore, that's just an item to extend it if y'all care to extend.
The expenses on that were, how much, was it monthly or
It was
quarterly?
$9,500 a month.
And I don't know.
And Mayor Council, I will let you know that I've had a conversation with Tommy about this. I can tell you that we had a long drawn out of how we got to this point. A lot of you were in the meeting when we first met with Tommy, where he began the process of the strategic plan. And the council said in the meeting, kind of gave what their vision is for the city, what they would like to see, what direction we want to go. And through that, we established some goals. You've seen the fruits of that in the last two council meetings that we had, where we had goals 1, 2, 3, and goals 4, 5, and 6. And all of that, of course, was done through staff. One of the things that I will tell you is that it would have been okay if the city manager had created the strategic plan and city manager had given you the goals and city manager had given you everything that you need for the vision and everything. But that just means that it's the city manager's plan. And so I took a different perspective and wanted to get input from the council and want to get input from the staff and get input from the public to find out what those goals are. And that's where we're at. I can tell you that the excitement that I saw with our staff and working with Tommy, because they were a part of it. They were developing this and it was a part of what they were involved in. And so, because at the end of the day, they're responsible for making sure that those goals move forward. So there was a lot of excitement with them and they bought in. And you can see that we had individuals that spoke that probably spoke more in one night than they spoke for the entire year. But you see those type of things. And I can tell you that in our June meeting, there will be another presentation by Captain Richard Avalos and Brittany. I'm not sure who else is on that team, but it's going to be for small things that matter. And what they're talking about there, if you go out, if you look at the parks, where we put park benches up and we put the tables up and we now have the trash receptacles. If you look at them, they all match. And so that's a part of what we're talking about. Small things matter is whatever we can do to help improve the city is what we want to do. And that all came out of the strategic planning visioning that we had. So I can tell you that, that Tommy was an instrumental part of that. I understand that there's a lot of chatter that's taking place. But for us, he's been nothing but stellar. And I think that, there's a inconceived perception that's being placed on him, not based on the facts, not based on his work, but simply the fact that some individuals do not like him. And then some individuals jumped on the bandwagon because it was the city of Pecos or the city of Kermit for that same reason. Had nothing to do with the work that they did. If they come out and they look, they would see the work that he did. That along that same line, in the conversation I had with him, he told me, he said, I completely understand if we don't extend the contract. Completely understand it. He said, and if there's something that we can do down the road, we can do that. He said, if your council chooses to not extend it, we'll finish out in June. He said, if your council wants to maybe look at it later, we can do that. He said, if they want to hold off and not say anything right now, we can do that as well. He said, but he's perfectly fine with whatever. He's very pleased. He said, I met some quality people. And he was very complimentary of the staff, the work that they've done and how they bought into it. So he's very complimentary in that respect as well. But he understands the perception that's out there about this contract.
Where are we at on our strategic planning goals?
So as you've seen, we've had goals 1 through 6. We now have the small things that matter will be presented. And understand that the strategic planning was more than just that. It was also the execution of the strategic plan, and if there's a decision to not extend it, then we'll have to figure out with the follow-up on it and how we're going to execute the plan. But there's also the 5-year budgeting forecast where we're at and how that ties into our capital projects. And the goals, of course, tie into all of that. And so that was in the next phase that we were looking at of the implementation of the strategic plan was the execution, and then also the 5-year budgeting forecast as it relates to our capital projects.
So I don't have a vote in it, but what I really want to try to convey to council is whichever decision you make, can I make sure that we're making this decision for the city of Kermit? If you feel like there was a perceived value that we got and it benefited Kermit and our staff and employees, or if it didn't. And I personally don't care about Pecos. I don't care about Midland. I care about Kermit. And I want y'all to try to tune out that outside noise. And whichever decision you make is great, but just make sure we're making that decision for the city of Kermit versus the easy way out. Pecos terminated his contract 6 days before it expired. Happened to be 2 weeks before election as well. So, but y'all discuss it and then decide, but please try to keep Kermit, whichever way you decide.
Do you feel like it was detrimental, the work they did? I mean,
No, we continue to work to the end, even with everything going on and with the chatter that was being had. I can tell you the staff continued to work with him. He continued to work with us. And that never caused him to waver in his responsibility and what he committed to.
Greg, you participated in one of those. What do you think?
I actually enjoyed it. I like working with them.
Fredo, you were.
Same thing, yes, sir. We work together and you help us out.
What about the other people on the team? You kind of feel like it was a value, waste of time?
I don't think it was a waste of time.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
In terms of man hours, how much man hours did Tommy put into this project that we've had per month?
I can't even answer that question because he did a lot of stuff on his own. And I know that working with us, he came down here a few times and worked with staff and worked with them one-on-one. He jumped online with them and worked with them that way. If I could tell you, man, I really don't know the man hours. I just know that he did a lot of it on his own because he developed a lot of documents that he would send to me that kind of gave direction on which way to go. But he never reported his hours because it was on a monthly stuff.
Yeah, and that wasn't part of the deal were the deliverables, not necessarily.
Correct.
We didn't track that.
It was the deliverables, correct.
And do we feel like to this point we've gotten our deliverables up through June? Are we lacking? Are we?
No, at this point in time, he's delivered on everything and he's brought to us. The only thing left would be in June when we do the small things matter. But again, in the discussion that we had with him in our contract and our agreement was that there would be the other project that we've done. Once we completed this, then we'll do use of the next phase of it. But that was going to be in the next extension, but that's where we're at there.
I think a lot of the hotel things that we discussed with him are what I saw the most value in with his contract. But unfortunately, as a city, we're not there yet to make those things happen. So I would kind of like for us to wait to renew his contract until we're maybe closer to some of those goals.
I'm in agreement with those. not to break the contract, but.
No, to finish it out,
to
but,
finish it
but
out.
not continue on until we're closer to some of those bigger goals that we had discussed.
Would he be open to renegotiating his task per se?
Yeah.
Similar to if we're not at this level yet,
Yes.
we want to target.
Yeah, and I can tell you that the conversation I had with him yesterday, he told me, he said, Mike, I'm open to anything the council wants to do. I'm open to no extension. I'm open to just whatever the council, the direction of the council and working with staff. He said, you got a great thing going. You got great staff that are on board, that are bought in. He said, so it's whatever the council chooses to do. He said, we can work through that.
And so we don't have to take any action tonight because the contract expires in June.
Right.
And then y'all have the option of bringing it back up at a later date, so.
And again, I think, Mayor, I'm glad you mentioned that, because the reason that it was brought up today is because the mayor and I talked about this. There is a 30-day cancellation. And so if the council had chosen to cancel it, we'd have to give them 30 days notice. But that puts us at like June the 20th, and his contract ended June 30th. So, but we still wanted to make sure the mayor was pretty adamant, making sure, let's give the council the option if they so choose to, or if we just let it expire at the end of June.
Everybody good with that? Moving on. Okay, so we don't have to take any action on that one. Moving on to item B is discuss and consider appeal for an amusement center permit for property located at 124 South Oak Street. Do we have anybody from the public that would like to speak? You want Mike to give a brief recap first, or?
Please, Mayor and Council, this agenda item is for an application that we received for Mark Taylor for a gaming and amusement permit. He's according to our ordinance, the permit has to be submitted to the city secretary's office, which was done, and I think you have a copy of it. Based on our ordinance states that no amusement center shall be placed, or it says it shall not be permitted within 500 feet of a residential. And I believe that in the information that I gave you, there are several locations that are residential that are within 500 feet. And for that purpose only, it was denied because it was within the 500 feet. That was the reason it was denied. And so, again, based on our ordinance, it states that an appeal comes directly to the council. Because I've had people ask me, I've had some council members ask me, why did this not go to the Board of Adjustment or Planning and Zoning? And it's because the ordinance states that it comes directly to council. And that's the reason you have it before you today, where any other variance would probably have gone to the Board of Adjustment. But this particular one, the ordinance states it comes directly to council on an appeal. And so that's what you have before you right now.
You ready?
Whenever you are. Oh, good evening, council members. My name is Chris Isbell. I'm with I-40 Venue. That's the name of the venue we're gonna have. We're requesting an approval for a variance for a clean, professional, responsible operated amusement center that will comply with all applicable laws and city ordinances. We're incredibly excited about the opportunity to join the community on the square and to become great neighbors to everyone around us. This includes the local businesses that drive our downtown economy. The residents living within 500 feet of our building will make this, make this neighborhood a home and a beautiful, historic, non-denominational church that stands as a landmark about 3 blocks away. Our goal is to create a welcoming, respectful space that complements the existing character of the square and positively contributes to the close-knit fabric of the entire neighborhood. As a part of our commitment to being outstanding neighbors in the downtown Kermit area, we have already proactively contacted the leadership of the neighboring church and are currently engaged in open, positive conversations with them. Our vision for this location on the square is to establish a community-friendly venue that features a sandwich shop along with our games, offering a welcome space for locals to grab a meal. And we deeply value the church's presence and have built our operational plans to fully respect their schedule, paying particular attention to ensuring our peak hours do not conflict with Wednesday night services or Sunday morning worship. Furthermore, the venue will be well lit, clean, and actively monitored at all times to prevent any loitering, littering, or disruptive outdoor behavior ensuring our operations preserve the peace and the character of the town square and the church community. This project represents local investment, property improvements, and job opportunities, and we intend to operate a business the city can be proud of. We thank you for your time and consideration, and we're happy to answer any questions the council has.
Currently have the blessing from law enforcement that regulates those games.
Yes, sir. Darren Mitchell, actually at length just talked to Mark and I, and so the style of games is completely legal in the state of Texas. And we're staying, we keep a close watch on the House bill that governs the games.
What kind of games are they?
So it's called a skilled game. So they look and sound similar to a slot machine, but it does not ever land directly on a reel, and you can't win just by luck. It takes a skill. You have to see a pattern and press a button, move a reel, do something. So in every opportunity that you put a dollar in the machine, you press the button and it rolls, and it doesn't line up and match. You have an opportunity to where you can do another skill game, which is another screen, which could be a tic-tac-toe, a follow me, a memory game, or a number of different things. And there's a little kick on that there. So if you do the follow me tic-tac-toe, you have the opportunity to get back 105% of what you put in. So, and that's per the state law. The gaming companies that we've reached out to and will partner with, they're in close contact with our legislature. And it's a continual deal. Darren Mitchell, our sheriff, has expressly told us, he'll keep us up to date on what he knows. And Mark had a conversation with him today to verify that.
And so, Mike, our ordinance does not allow this type of business. It's just the proximity to residential or church.
That's correct. We have a gaming and amusement center ordinance that, if compliant with everything else within the ordinance, is allowed.
So council tonight is just considering the location versus the type of establishment. And was this ordinance in place, Diana, or Jaime might tell me, when the other game room that's right behind it was open?
I want to say it was.
Okay.
And I appreciate you saying that, because I want everybody to know, the public to know, is that the only reason this is before you is because it's in violation of the distance to a residential. That is the only reason.
So I have a question about the sandwich shop.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you go in and sit down? And
So,
or is it all to go?
so on the perimeter of the building itself, we plan on doing outside dining with the umbrellas. We've got some really neat drawings of it set up using an AI. We have a smaller area in the back to where if it's raining, you'll be able to come in and order and then take your food to go.
So does that, because I'm assuming you'd use the sidewalk for your tables. Is there a ordinance on sidewalks? So where you can't put stuff out there?
I don't believe we have an ordinance that.
Well, it'd be ADA compliance, because they still have to be able to allow for ADA accessibility.
Yeah, you couldn't come all the way to the curb. You have to allow for it.
Okay.
So that'd be
But
the
that's-
only consideration.
And your permits for the machine would go through the city, correct?
They will go through the city, yes. And the state comptroller, the gaming machines actually have a sticker on them from the state comptroller.
And can you remind us how much?
It's $500 a machine for.
500.
Approximately
year.
1,000 machines.
So if we could build up, yes.
Okay, you play these games and you win. What kind of payout is there?
So we don't actually handle any of the payouts. They have a kiosk that's built next to them. I actually brought one of the payouts with us. I only have one. I didn't make copies. I actually went to the machine, put $40 in, was able to cash out. You want to pass that around. It prints a little QR code, and you're able to go to the kiosk, scan it, and it gives you your cash back. The only way this is legal is based on the skill base. We can't have an 8-line machine, we can't have a machine that works on 100% luck. So these machines have to have that extra reels. You see a pattern, you press the button, you move the reel, or do the follow me tic-tac-toe version.
And again, that's great information. Y'all are deciding locations more than.
So they have these at Flying J.
At Flying J, yes. There are other machines that are all throughout the Permian Basin. Every Main Street market along I-20 has 5 to 6 machines in it. They look very similar to what they have in Love's. Love's does a different payout where it's more in-store items, less cigarettes, alcohol, and fuel.
So it's kind of like an ATM. When you
Yes.
put this up there, it gives you
Correct.
your money. Is there a limit on how much you get out of
The
it?
machines that we will have, they have a 60 bill limit. So if your winnings are denominations of 20, I think that's going to be 3,000.
Otherwise, you could put 40 in, and if you were lucky, you could win.
Like, was King.
No, if you have the skill, it's not luck. So if you're skilled,
No, ma'am. Kent Creek, they applied as well and they were denied also
Because of the
because of the
residential.
500-foot distance, correct?
I move to sustain the denial of the gaming and amusement for the property located at 124 South Oak Street on the basis of being within 500 feet of residential.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to deny the appeal. So, to deny the appeal for the property located at 124 South Oak. All in favor?
Aye.
Those are your favor.
Yes.
Opposed?
Aye.
I think I'm done.
I'm just,
So are y'all gonna let come back and reapply?
They can appeal.
Okay.
Yeah, they have the same.
We have to appeal.
So my decision is gonna be based on the fact that the city allowed one that was even closer to a residence for, I don't know how many years it was there, but it was there for a little. So I am going to vote to uphold the appeal and grant permission.
Do we have a time?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know what they had voted.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all were 2 days?
Yes.
2 days.
No, we're nays.
Y'all were nays?
Yeah, I think we said yes. We meant nay.
Yeah, they're.
Nay?
Well, technically, they were the nays because they denied the
appeal.
They denied the appeal. They were the yays and approved the appeal and then I was it.
Okay. 'Cause I got confused here.
But yes, anybody that has applied before can appeal.
Yes, we would take each one of them as they can.
Okay.
thank you all very much.
All right. Item E on the agenda is discuss and consider resolution 2612. And this is a lease agreement with Government Capital for the 2026 Timco model street sweeper.
Yes, sir. Mayor Council, this is, we already have the street sweeper. This is just financing it. The recommendation would be to finance for 5 years.
How much did we get it on the lease?
It would be on the lease.
But we didn't do that before, did?
No, they delivered it to us and then we've been working on the paperwork and that's why you have.
Oh, okay.
Programs.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
It's a long drawn out process because we sent the information in and somewhere along the way it got lost with Government Capital. And then we had a call from Timco saying, where's our money? We thought it was already done. So we went back and then the individual that we were talking to with Government Capital said, well, you're outside the days, and so we can't do it. And then I went to a conference and I spoke with a senior analyst, or a senior vice president actually. And she said, no, we can get it done. So we can get it back up again.
And this is a previously budgeted expenditure.
Is it back up and running?
I believe we got it back now. So we
We're
got it
gonna
back
get back Tuesday.
Tuesday.
It's ready by Monday, but we'll more Monday, so probably we'll get ready
Yeah.
by next week on Tuesday.
What was wrong with it?
The filters, they had to
The
replace the
filters,
filters.
Because too much crashes.
Yeah, we're picking up a lot.
Does look better around. Okay, we have a motion.
Make a motion to accept, resolution 26-12 regarding the, street sweeper.
The motion and a second to approve resolution 2612, which is the financing of the street sweeper. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item F, discuss and consider ordinance 2606, amending the appendix A6.031, collection service within city limits. A6.032, collection services outside city limits. Mike?
Mayor Council, this is an agenda item, which of course we're gonna have to have two readings. And the purpose of this is after the evaluation, which Leanne helped me do, of our sanitation fund, we realized that we have not been meeting the expenditures in our sanitation fund. It hadn't happened for a couple of years now. And so this would pretty much shore us back up in the sanitation fund, so it sustain itself and not have to rely on any other funds. I can tell you that careful consideration was placed to not allow the full burden of the increase to reside with residential inside the city limit customers. And so the increase that we're looking at, even with the inside residential, is not as great from a percentage basis as you may see with some of the others. Again, that was done intentionally to try to really hone in, even though I can tell you that a bulk of the numbers that we have are located in the residential, inside residential. But we were still very careful to not, or I was still very careful to not allow that to happen. But there is some increases, as you can see from the current and the proposed. And of course, as you remember, one of the ordinances we passed last year was to have a inside ETJ and an outside ETJ. And so you see that broken out from the residential and commercial standpoint, the current and the proposed, and looking at the related fees that would apply to each one of the categories within the ordinance. I've given you that. I've also given you ordinance. And then the second document, or the last document I gave you, is actually our ordinance and the changes that would occur based on the comments that in the documents that I've given you.
It looks like residential go up about $6, almost $7.
$6.85, yes.
30 cents a day, roughly.
I hate that, but there's nothing we can do about what
And
the
that's diesel
land
too.
landfill charges and our gas costs are going up. I mean,
What were the landfill charges, 13,000, something like that this month?
And I can tell you that we were notified, I believe in January, by the public waste that they went up only 3.6% on their landfill fees.
wow.
When does that contract expire?
2029.
4.5 more years.
We still have a while.
It was about 2029.
I don't see any way around it. We're gonna have to do something to cover the shortfall.
I move to approve ordinance 2606, amending A6.031 and A6.032 of the Code of Ordinances with the updated fee structure.
Your second.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance 2606, which amends appendix A6.031 and A6.032 for solid waste. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number G, discuss and consider ordinance 2607, amending chapter 12 utilities article 1204 is a drought contingency plan. Mike, you want to walk us through that?
Mayor Council, as you remember, we were working on some applications for grants through the Texas Water Development Board. And we had a deadline of May 1 to submit some preliminary draft documents. And one of those was to have a water conservation plan and a drought contingency plan. Parkville, which you have a copy of, Parkville created that for us. And we managed to be able to meet the deadline. But we're now bringing it before you to be able to adopt and to amend our ordinance for that water conservation and drought contingency plan. Essentially what it is that we get to the point where water becomes scarce, or we have, as an example, maybe some pumps go down and water is not being pulled out of the ground to meet up with the demand. We can place kind of water conservation measures and say, and I'll give you an example, is that when I was at the city of Lubbock, when they would do a water conservation and they would institute a stage 1, stage 2, they would say, the left hand of the street can water on Monday and Wednesday, the right hand on Tuesday, Thursday, but nobody can water Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No car washes. You can't wash your car unless you've got a hose, a bib that stops the water from just flowing. So certain measures like that were implemented. And what this does, this places it in our ordinance so that whenever we start applying for grants with the Texas Water Development Board, they know that we have this in place. And it's just an assurance and a place where we can go in the event that we ever have to do either type of stages for water conservation, or if we get into a drought, what we would do in that instance from that water standpoint.
It's actually a good ordinance regardless of grants. That's a good ordinance.
Looking for something that could possibly come up in the future. I think Alpine's going through it right now
They are.
with issues with
Water
their
lines.
water. And I don't think you're allowed to wash the car, period, or water your lawn 1 day a week. I mean, for 2 hours, they really cut back.
Any more discussion on item number 14? No further conversations. I'll take a motion.
Make a motion to accept item number 14, 2607 in dealing with the water conservation plan, drought contingency plan as presented.
I'll second.
A motion and a second to approve ordinance 2607, which amends chapter 12 covering water conservation and a drought contingency plan for the city of Kermit. All in favor? Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, discussion on animal control department. Ms. Kelsey?
I had been approached by different people in my district hearing that we are simply out of money to complete the animal shelter. So I just wanted us to talk about where we're at on the structure, where we're at in finding personnel. And you should go over the department.
Sure. From a finance standpoint, I can just tell you that currently Monarca is doing the construction work, and we've been busy. We kept them busy, of course, putting in the last mobile home that we had across from the hospital, and he set that up. He's working on the renovation over here at the police department, and there's still some work to do there, as well as the dispatch area. We're going to completely turn over the dispatch area and remodel it. So he's been busy, and the reality is he's not been able to get over there to finish. And so I think that Jaime can probably provide a little more information about the rest of the stuff and where we're at from an employment standpoint and the current shelter and stuff like that.
So on the gas aspect of it, if he was running his portion of the lines, but he can't fully connect because the gas meter has not been put in place. And we're waiting on West Texas Gas to come and install the meter. On the water lines, he's already run the lines and set the hoses. The next project he wanted to work on was getting the restroom start building the restroom. But again, we got the fence already, the corral area outside is ready. The restroom was gonna be the next project. And then we were gonna look at just bringing in the kennels that we have currently at the temporary shelter and just start setting them up so we can start moving some of the animals to our new facility. Our doors are up, our windows are up, our garage doors are up. Monday,
Insulated.
it's been insulated. We're waiting to purchase the. All right, so I'm gonna put it out there, big ass fans. So, and that's, yeah, that's the brand.
And what they're actually called.
Yeah, those are, that's a
So-
good brand.
And that was a recommendation through an energy company. So that's what we're waiting on there. On the employment aspect of it, man, we had an applicant that applied and we were gung ho and we were like, all right, come on, well, let's do the physical, let's get you going. They were already certified, ready to go. The other city offered her more money, so she's staying with the other city. So we're back on board to try to get it out there and try to get more applicants.
And I think you probably imagine, this is a difficult position to fill. Because, you know, you've got to love animals and then at the same time not be afraid. You know, you've got to be okay with the fact that you may get bit, but still know how to wrangle them in and how to capture them. So it's not a easy position to fill. But we're still trying to we thought we had it done. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. And so I can tell you this is that the plan for us is to get it open and to move the animals from the other kennel to this building. We still have some work to do because we have to have a quarantine area, which we haven't even done yet. So we're gonna have to work through that. But with all the other projects that we have going on, I would probably caution you and make you aware that we may not complete the project before the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
Not because we're not trying to get there, but it's just we've got so much happening right now in the city. And as we've talked about before, we just don't have a lot of contractors. And so the contractor we have is busy with other things. But we'll get to the point that we'll open it. We'll definitely open it before the end of the summer, I can tell you that. Hopefully by midsummer it's open and we'll have the dogs there, the kennels there and stuff. It may not be fully complete on the inside. We have the area set aside for the veterinarian area, you know, storage and then offices for our animal control officers. That may not come into play just yet until we can get the rest of it done and get some of the other projects out of the way so we can get it open at least. And so we can shut down the Girl Scout hut for what we're doing and move everything over, which is the original plan for that. I can tell you that even with just that, that's going to be a vast improvement of where they came from. And so, but I just want to make everybody aware that it's there. It has nothing to do with financing. It has to do with the fact that they're just inundated with work. And he's got a litany of things and he's got a runway and he's got everything stacked up on where he's going to get to.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
And tagging on that, which I brought up earlier, really, I think we all appreciate y'all getting on those dogs that were over at Best Park and getting the mom off. I know she was a street mama. You had 3 or 4 litters so far on the street. So great job and good job of them getting her fixed where is hopefully won't have that issue anymore.
Yeah, we still have a problem on South Cedar though.
South Cedar.
Like the 300-400 block, kind of all right there together.
Is that right there, like by the grocery store?
It's up a couple blocks.
Okay,
South
okay.
Cedar?
I see.
I mean, North Cedar, I'm so sorry. North Cedar.
Okay,
See,
North
that's
Cedar.
what happens. Now you're gonna send everybody south. Cedar.
Yeah, so sorry.
Uh,
Yeah, it's like it,
400 block to
3,
the
okay,
north.
1, 2, 3, it's the 400 block.
They're kind of where the
North.
RV park is.
No, it's before the RV park.
I see them.
That long block.
Yes,
That's
yes.
the 400 block.
all righty, moving on to item I, which is discussion of 4th of July celebration.
Mayor Council, this particular agenda item, we did want to bring you up to date and let you know that we have secured Liberty Fireworks for the fireworks show. Of course, this is a 250 celebration. The mayor and I have been in discussion and we have found, actually he found some banners, I'm gonna give him all credit. He found some banners that we're gonna try to take a look at and put up on the poles on the streets that will say, you know, City of Kermit celebrates America's 250. So we're looking at doing that. The other thing that I'm now pursuing is Looking at some challenge points, I had the city, Kermit logo on one side plus, America 250 on the other. So I'm sure that, we've got a few council members can walk around and pass those out. But on 4th of July, we'll have the fireworks display that's already been planned. We found out recently that the chamber is, they're planning an event. And so we're entirely sure what all the details are. I know they're gonna have bands. I think they're supposed to start at 10. We have told the chamber that we would assist in trying to obtain the vendors and try to get their applications. They can come here, pick it up. We'll collect the money and we'll set it and put it in the vault. And they can come over here weekly and pick up the money and deposit it. We won't put it in our account, but we'll set it to the side for them along with the applications. I think to date, we have two vendors that have signed up. I can tell you that the reality is it's difficult, which, Chief Banana and I talked about this. It's difficult to get vendors for a one-day event when some other cities are doing 2-day events. But they're still trying to see if we get some more vendors in. And so they're still going at it. We've already discussed that we will lay the water lines down. I'm not sure if Greg knows that yet, but we will. We'll lay the water lines down for them to be able to get water. We'll open up the electrical panels so that they can tie into electrical boxes for electricity. And then we'll provide barricades or anything else that they may need for the event. I think they are seeking volunteers to help out. And so I think, that's one of the things that they'll be looking for. And if our city employees want to work that day, then they would also be volunteering with the chamber for that event.
It's just one day.
Just one day. It's on Saturday, July the 4th. Yes, sir. We anticipate the fireworks being about 9:30, 9:45. Yes, ma'am.
Do you know if there's a parade planned?
It's in their ad that there's a parade, something out under the Chamber of Commerce on the Chamber's website. Somebody showed it to me a couple of days ago. He said something about a pageant and a parade.
Yeah, I did see the pageant.
I saw the pageant too.
And,
Is it
but I
on the
wondered
web
if it was,
page
if
or
like
their
that was gonna be in
Facebook?
the evening before, or if it's gonna be during that day at the,
They haven't mentioned it for it.
and,
Okay, so it's not clear to have a parade.
We have not.
Okay.
Nobody's mentioned the parade.
Okay.
it seemed like their website said something about a parade. I may be mistaken, but it was on the Chamber's website, Kermit Chamber of Commerce website.
Yeah, they do talk about a pageant registration. Looks like they're having a softball tournament as well. And that's all I'm seeing right now.
Okay, I'm making a mistake there.
So that closes out item 14 on the agenda. 15 is public comments on any items not on this agenda. Mike, do we need this on there twice? I mean,
No,
it's
we
kind
do
of
not.
confusing that.
We'll remove that one.
Okay, let's clean it up. So that being said, anybody from the public have anything they want to speak about on that? Anything, feeling it's not for the public, so we'll move on. Okay, my favorite part is second favorite part is items from the council and council city manager comments, anything. So we will start differently with our newest council member, Mr. Underwood. Well, you got any comments or anything you'd like to lay upon us?
This has definitely been a learning experience. Just a little taste I've gotten before this. I'm glad the dust has settled and definitely look forward to tackling some big things and working with you guys. Again, the appreciation doesn't go far enough. I'll use the public works, law enforcement, everybody behind closed doors. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Second notes.
I don't have anything tonight.
Oh. Ms. Cussy?
I have something, when I asked Caesar to fill potholes on Joseph Street a couple of months back, I had some concerned citizens tell me that that was a county street and not a city street. And I would like them to know that Greg and I looked at the maps the other day, and that is a city street. I'm not wasting taxpayer money filling potholes on Joseph Street. So outside of that, I want to thank everybody for doing a great job. And that's it.
Thank you, ma'am.
First of all, want to again, commend, Alfredo, like I said, he's one that came up with, Billy Sinclair and did the inspection on the gas line. And he's working on getting his certification. I think that's something we should stand behind, because we'll get that done, and that's sure gonna help. Have it, bring Billy over here, because they had to come up like 6:30 in the evening, after he got off work. If there's some potholes on East Avenue, was one, it looks like they put some chat or something in it right there before you get to Bryan Street and East Avenue. But I get that thing all the time. And then there's a couple more on down. And then Richard Jackson asked me if they could check where they had done something with his water line in front of his house. And I think the rain kind of washed out. Anyway, it'd be 101 H.
101 North H.
101 North H. Then I want to thank y'all for new trash cans at the cemetery. God, they look nice.
Yes.
They look real nice. And I've heard some things, some comments on that. But there is one, I was out there the other day, and there was a family, and where you pull into the cemetery off of Underwood Street and you go down and it dead ends. The grave right there is Holman. And several years ago, I guess it was a bunch of kids or something, ran to the cemetery at night and run over those headstones in there. The city put up 2 big pipes. If we could cut the top or just put a cap on those pipes. There were some kids out there playing. One of them tried to climb over one, and they didn't cut them or anything, but it kind of roughed up their elbow. Anyway, I told them I'd bring that up. If we could just get a cap, I think a PVC cap would go do it. And all, because the posts are great. The Holmans don't have an issue with those at all, because they had to buy the headstone. Anyway, then I've had several comments about the loud music at night. It's probably fixing to only get worse now school's let out. And I had checked with Diana the other day, and the ordinance, I know we did the second reading and posted it in the newspaper. So a PD could kind of start. There's some pickups going around. They hit my neighborhood about 11 o'clock at night. And one of them sat at the stop sign the other night for 10 minutes with that noise. Anyway, and I think if we pull them over, PD pulls them over and issues a couple of citations, word of mouth will cure that problem pretty quick. And then I did have a call. Somebody was wondering, I'm sure it's probably some of our off-duty officers are doing security, because they noticed over by the Horseshoe, one of the city patrol cars was sitting there. They're doing some road maintenance or something, and they were wondering why it was there. And I said, I don't know, but I'll check it. I said, it's probably an off-duty officer that's doing security or whatever.
Yes, sir.
And they were just concerned if they were doing it, if we were footing the bill, or if they're footing the bill for the gas. And I said, I don't know, but I would bring it up.
I had someone found, there was one in Orla as well. So I had somebody ask me about that one as
And I
well.
said, I'm not sure. I said, but I'm sure. I said, several of the officers live over there. And I said, I don't have an issue with them doing security on their off time. But if we're paying the gas bill on the vehicle, maybe they need to check into it. That if they're doing that their off time, they can tell me that.
Maybe we can bring that up at next month's meeting.
Yeah.
Because it's in the personnel
Okay.
policy.
Okay.
But
No problem.
I'm first to bring it up to you.
okay.
Just that was brought up to me by.
One of y'all get, or one of council get with Diana. Let's get that on next month's agenda.
And on the noise ordinance, I'm
Yes,
glad
sir.
you brought it up. If the citizens, if they hear it, if they would just simply call in to dispatch, we can dispatch officers out there. And I can testify that it does work, because I had somebody sitting outside
Good.
my place one time, like at 8:30, and they were across the street and they had it blaring. I called and before, I think within 5 minutes, they were there. Yeah. So Greg finally left. And
We drove on down the street, came to my place.
I told them, I said, your best bet, I said, get a description of the vehicle. I said, they can't go out Wild Goose Chase, so if you see it, and I called in on one the other night, and they finally got them over at the Dollar General. And I said, they'll check it out, but I said, it does take a few minutes for them to get a direction of their travel, and if you can, a description of the vehicle. That's all I had. Oh, do we have any cat traps? Y'all, we got one of the feral cats in the alley behind the shop, inside the shop the other day. And we chased him, and I called the city to see if we had a cat trap, and they said that we didn't have any, that we didn't possess any. I think it was a breakdown in communication.
We have the small dog traps, so I can see with Barbara, see if that would benefit us. And if it does, I'll definitely.
Because I know we're probably fixing to start having problems with skunks, because it's dry and they start coming in during the summer. Those cat traps, about the only way you can catch them.
I'd be willing to make a donation and buy one if we need one.
Well, I've got one they have, because I went and bought one, and we didn't catch the cat in it, but we finally run him out with a yardstick. All that, but I've got one that I donated. It's just one of the long traps. And all. That's all I had.
CM, you got anything?
Just want to say thank you for the opportunity to be a part of the New York trip. I definitely learned a great deal just from sitting there and listening to our financial advisors and our financial director. It was a great experience, and I'm grateful. So thank you.
You did a good job while you were there. Thank you.
the only thing I want to mention is that there's a Memorial Day event on Monday at the cemetery. So if you're available to be there, I think it starts at 10 o'clock. And then they have, I believe, a lunch over at the community center afterwards.
At 11.
So
Is that where they placed the flags, or was that just on Veterans Day?
no,
No,
they place it.
so-
Okay. so y'all-
That's at 7.
y'all on
That's at 7 in the morning.
7 a.m.
And then they're doing some kind of flag racing or lowering or something at the courthouse at 9. But then the memorial service at the cemeteries at 10, and then brunch is at 11.
Yeah, it's something Gold Star, or I'm not real sure what it's called. Don't get me.
Some they're honoring the Ghost Star, which we don't have any Ghost Star letters anymore, but we at one time had 3.
Yeah,
I think they're doing some kind of.
they're honoring the fallen Monty Cooley,
Orky Rivera.
Cooley Rivera,
Someone. 3.
Palmer. Yeah.
All that being said, if y'all haven't been part of that 7 a.m. flag placing,
It's neat.
it's really neat and it'll touch your heart, and it's kind of cool.
It's fun.
It's amazing to see the number of flags in that cemetery that honor our veterans. So challenge you, if you haven't had a chance, run by there. If you got kids of age that can place flags, it's a really good thing. So Mike, that was my number 1 comment. I have 4. Number 2, the banners, that came to me from Bryce Rushing. He's a local team here that really involved in some things. He's also, when we get ready to redo the memorial area at the cemetery, he's got some ideas and stuff. He's a really sharp young man. And so anyway, he's the one who sent me the things on the banner. So I wanted to forward that to y'all and make sure he got recognition. Third is picking back off a couple of y'all. The grounds at the cemetery and the parks are looking great. So kudos to Emmy and her staff and everybody that's doing all that. I know it's a 2 or 3 year process, but you can definitely tell the difference. And then 4th, and I'm disappointed her family didn't stick around, but Emery Ramirez passed her telecommunicator certification level 1. And I wanted to make sure I recognized her for that. So
Awesome.
other than that, I'll hear a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned.